guys ready to have some fun? Yes. Let me welcome to the stage, you know her as Belle, Paige O Hara!
Can you hear me? Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for having the time to talk with us today.
I'm looking forward to it. How are you guys doing today?
So have you been super crazy this weekend? I feel like there's been a lot of people here. Has it been good for you?
Fantastic. I love it here. I wanted to actually be a tourist now and explore Raleigh, but we're going to do that next time, next year.
Awesome. I know we were sold out yesterday, so that's crazy, right?
It is crazy,
Sold out in
but I love it. I love meeting all of you and hearing your stories and what you think about Beauty and the Beast and Belle, and it's all great.
Awesome, awesome. Actually, before we get started, I have a question myself. I want to kind of warm up the crowd. Let's talk about Wreck-It Ralph 2. That's really exciting, and that's coming out, right?
It is so exciting. It's coming out on Thanksgiving, and all of the princesses are in it, and all of the original princesses that are still alive are in it. And I think I'm the oldest of the ones. But it was kind of wonderful to get us all together. They never actually had let the princesses interact with each other. In fact, as an artist with Disney, I'm not allowed to paint them in the same environment. But now they've changed that rule, and it's crazy, and it was so popular when you guys saw the trailer. I was in the studio 5 weeks ago, and they made our parts bigger. So we have a longer scene. It's very fun. It's very, very funny. I'm not going to give it away, but the ending is pretty amazing.
Wow, that's so cool. That's cool that they're like meshing it finally. Finally.
I love it.
Awesome. We have a long line already. Hi.
Hi, you guys.
What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Nick, and I was wondering your thoughts on the remake, live-action remake.
Oh, I liked it very much, very much. There were a couple things I didn't like, which I told Don Hahn about, and he actually agreed with me. The main one being that they used the gun at the end with Gaston. I didn't like that. And Don said, I fought Bill on that, and the director wanted the gun, but I thought they did a beautiful job, and Emma was adorable, and I got to meet her at the party on the opening night, and take pictures with Emma, and it was so adorable. She was about as far as the camera is from me right here, and I went like this, and she went, hey! And everybody stopped and watched us, and we hugged, and it was really fun. It was really fun. We had a wonderful fun. Did you like it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Great actors in there. Dan Stevens, I'm a huge fan of Dan Stevens. Back from Downton Abbey and his new series. Great. Thanks.
I think.
Hi, my name is Jessica. My question is, I know Alan Menken did the music. Did you ever get a chance to work with him directly when you were doing the voice for Belle?
Alan and Howard were there every day.
What was it like working with him?
Oh, it was amazing. They're geniuses, both of them. And actually, I think a lot of people don't realize, but it was Alan and Howard who convinced Disney and put their own money into the film of Little Mermaid to bring back animation into film. And they had to persuade Disney, because at that point animation was dead. And I mean, think about all the films. If they hadn't done that in the last 28, 30 years, that wouldn't have happened. So it was pretty amazing. But also Howard, we all kind of agreed, all of us, in terms of the animators, the actors, the producers, directors. It was Howard Ashman's vision, Beauty and the Beast. And it was one of those rare things where everything came together and his vision was accomplished. So,
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Elise, and my question is, what was your favorite Beauty and the Beast moment?
my favorite Beauty and the Beast moment,
Yes.
I mean, when I watched the film,
Yes?
the Something There sequence.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, really? I love it. That's actually when the little bird, jumps on the beast's paw and he lights up, and she touches his shoulder and runs behind the tree. That is the moment that Belle realizes she's in love with him. And so that's the special moment.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, this is Johnny Cook. My question is, what was it like being Belle?
It's been a life-changing experience, you know. I mean, like, I think most of us here were all Disney fans. I was a Disney fan as a child. And my favorite movie still is Mary Poppins. And how cool was it? I actually did the book with Julie Andrews at Disney World several years ago, and I was so shy to go up and say anything to her. I was totally starstruck. Long story short, my husband went up and started talking with her, and she came over to us and said, "Could I hang out with you for the weekend? I'm on my own this weekend." I'm like, "Okay!" Yes, you think so? Of course. So that was really, really cool. And it's been a life-changing experience. I'm a Broadway actress, and you know what frustrates me with Broadway is that so many of the performances are lost. My goal would be to have every performance on tape for historical reasons, so that some of these great performances won't be forgotten. And I'm hoping that the unions will allow that to happen in the next couple of years. So, but thank you.
Thank you. You're my favorite princess.
Thank you.
So my name is Cassandra, and I actually wanted to ask you, a lot of people don't know that you are also a stage actress, and you're on Broadway. My question was, what is your favorite song that you have ever performed in Disney or in Broadway?
Oh, wow. Favorite song ever?
Because I know you were Fontaine in 1995, so.
I had a favorite song that I sang that got me a lot of jobs. And it was actually a song from Funny Girl. I played Fanny Bryce in high school. And Julie Stein, for whatever reason, this music connects with me. And it was a film that was not in the movie of Funny Girl, but it's called This Is the Only Music That Makes Me Dance. And it's a gorgeous ballad. It's like almost 3 octaves, so a lot of people don't like to sing it. And it's absolutely stunningly beautiful song. And I actually, many years later, realized my biggest idol, Judy Garland, actually sang it and did a recording of it. And then, of course, Barbara Streisand was perfection when she sang it. But I guess it would have to be that song, because I got so many jobs for that song. I actually remember auditioning for a show that I was not right for. And Stephen Sondheim and Hal Prince said, "Okay, we don't want to waste our time here with you," because it was a part it was could have gone on. Like, and then the second time was with Stephen Sondheim for, it was, I want to say it was Sunday in the Park with George, and Bernadette's Standby had already been cast, so there was really nothing for me in the show. And he said, "Would you sing Music Makes Me Dance for us, Paige?" Because it became like my stamp, you know? So it was cool.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Paola, and I just want to start by saying thank you so much for coming here. A lot of us, you know, I've been waiting here for this moment. I am so happy that you finally came out to answer our questions. And so my question is, you know, it's been nearly 3 decades since Beauty and the Beast came out, and I wanted to know, why do you think Beauty and the Beast is still relevant today in 2018? Like, why do you think parents should still make their kids watch it? Why do you think adults should still watch Beauty and the Beast?
Well, I think really the story is timeless. I mean, Beauty Comes From Within is a timeless story that will always be wanting to be told over and over again. And it's actually very appropriate timing right now for the new generation of children discovering Beauty and the Beast. It teaches you that it doesn't matter what you look like. It's all about the character of who you are inside. And I think that for that reason, long after I'm gone, I think Beauty and the Beast is going to be entertaining people for 100 years to come.
I agree. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Emma. It's nice to meet you.
Emma?
Yes.
Like Watson?
Yes.
I love that name.
Thank you. I was just wondering, since Belle is a huge fan of literature and books, I was wondering what your favorite book is.
Oh boy, I have a lot of favorite books. So it's like when you're doing a show, it's your favorite show at the same time, you know? When I'm reading a certain book, it's my favorite book. Of course, I love the Bible, and I love To Kill a Mockingbird. I love that story, and I never get tired of it. And over the years, but my last series of books my mom introduced me to before she died is a James Patterson series called Maximum Ride. You guys have read it? Yeah. Maximum, who's genetically engineered, part bird, part human, and she's like this superhero person who would save the world. And my mom said, Paige, she's just like you. And I'm like, I wish, Mama. So I go back and reread those, but they've been, I think James' final book on it was just like 4 years ago. It's been going on for 20 years. So when I really am in a bad mood and I miss my mom, I'll pick up the Maximum Ride and I'll read it again. Thank you. Do you have a favorite book?
Too many to count.
But I know the feeling. And you keep changing your mind, you know. Every year it's a different favorite.
Yeah, but I do love To Kill a Mockingbird as well.
Oh, it's a great one.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hannah, and I wanted to know who your favorite person to work with was.
My favorite person to ever work with?
Yeah. Yes.
That's really hard to pick. Of course, with Beauty and the Beast, I love working with all of them. Robbie Benson, when he came on, I was already hired a month before Robbie came into the show, into the film. And once he was hired, we were recording together, and my character came to a whole other level once Robbie was hired as the Beast. Angela Lansbury, I've had on a pedestal my whole life. Got to see her as Gypsy, as Mama Rose and Gypsy on Broadway 6 times. I would sneak in at intermission, and because I was poor. And the kids did it all the time. We just sneak in and see the second half. Angela Lansbury is one of them. I don't know if you remember Robert Goulet. I played opposite Robert Goulet in South Pacific and performed with him at the Venetian. Jose Ferrer, long before your time. I played his daughter in Paint Your Wagon. I've worked with some great actors. And Donald O'Connor in Showboat. Have any of you ever seen Singing in the Rain? Yeah? Donald O'Connor, make them laugh. Got my first Broadway starring role was playing with Donald in Showboat in 1980. So that was 82 actually. 80 was Oklahoma. I'm forgetting, I'm crazy. So, but thank you. That's a hard question.
Hello, my name is Alicia, and first of all, thank you so much for our childhood.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you.
And when I was growing up, Belle was kind of like my role model for me. Sorry, I'm like shaking and crying. And when I grew up, I was an odd kid. I was kind of left out a lot of things, and I didn't have a lot of female role models in my life. My grandmother passed away 4 years ago, and so I kind of looked up to Belle as a role model, and I kind of looked up to you a lot. And one question I had was, why do you think with Wreck-It Ralph, why do you think they brought the princesses together, and why do you think they always keep them like separate?
Well, the stories are also told in different time periods. Some of them are in very different time periods, and that was a Michael Eisner thing. He did not want them. He thought it would spoil the magic to bring them all in the same story. This Wreck-It Ralph thing is really, truly a revolution with Disney. They have never, ever done this before. And actually, they're all done in the new computer-generated animation. So they all look a little bit different. I mean, I'm an artist of Disney, so I'm a little picky about it. I think they all kind of have the same mouth, which drives me crazy. But I just think bringing them together is it's time to try something fun and new, and the premise for it is really surreal because they wreck the internet. Ralph breaks the internet, so it's really kind of it's a more fantasy, and in reality it could really not have existed. I think that it's going to be interesting how the critics respond to it, but it's really funny. I mean, they're bad. These princesses are bad. It's really, I mean, in a fun way, in a sweet way. And then they're heroic in it as well.
It was just so fun, like seeing Cinderella, for example, because I'm just like, there's something really off about her. And then I looked, I'm just like, she's showing her ears. Her hair is always behind like a headband. Like that's why she looks so different to me.
I know, it's true. They went crazy. And then they get in modern clothing in it, which is really funny. Yeah, you're going to see them like their workout outfits. Cinderella cracks me up, and I'll give you the first. You probably saw it on the trailer where she cracks the shoe. It just starts there and goes from there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Paige. I'm Mariah. I'm a little too tall for this. I was going to ask you about your favorite books. It's the one question, but it was already asked. So instead, I will ask, what role have you always wanted to play that you have not yet gotten to play?
Wow. That I haven't gotten to play yet. Well, there's sort of a two-part question. I would love to play Norman Desmond in Sunset Boulevard. I would love to play Mama Rose and Gypsy, and Robert, they always say I'm too little. But Bernadette did it, and I said if my friend Bernadette could do it, Paige could do it. Those are two of them. Norma Desmond, actually Elaine Paige, who created it in London, I'm a huge fan. She's 5 feet tall, and I'm 5'3".
Giant.
But you know, those two, I would love to, I played Mame in high school, Auntie Mame, and I would love to do Mame again as the musical. Angel Lansbury created it on Broadway. Jerry Herman's a very dear friend of mine. And I love playing Mame in high school, and I want to play it now because my mom was Mame in life. I mean, she was Auntie Mame, the most colorful person in the world. And it's so easy to play, I just play my mother. So those are a few. I was going to say Peter Pan, but I did get to play Peter in concert at the Hollywood Bowl, and I got to fly in the whole bit. That was really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Heidi.
Hi.
This is overwhelming. I'm gonna cry. You are my favorite princess ever.
Oh,
Sorry.
thank you.
You're my hero. And I loved Belle so much. And so, to get this out before I just break down. Did you know how much of a cultural phenomenon that Beauty and the Beast, that Belle was going to be when you got involved in it and when you started?
I knew that she was going to be, she would be a huge role model. I knew that. I had no idea the magnitude of the success of the film. I mean, here I am 30 years later, 28 years later. And, every 6-7 years is a new young generation of kids who discover the film. And what's wonderful is the original fans are still fans, and it's pretty phenomenal. We didn't really know the success of the film, even in the beginning, until we went to the film festival in New York. And we showed a partly finished version, unfinished version of Beauty and the Beast to the New York critics. And there was a lot of trepidation of doing this. Don Hahn and Jeffrey Katzenberg were shaking, literally shaking at the top of it, because the New York critics mean everything. They could totally kill this film in one, fell swoop. But fantastic reactions. As soon as they started showing it, the New York critics were applauding each song. At the end of it, they all stood up and gave it a 10-minute standing ovation, and we all had to go on stage. And I have a feeling that night is when we knew this was going to be make history, this film. And Belle, I just knew because, first brown-haired, brown-eyed, smart girl.
That's why I love her so much.
And what's so phenomenal is Belle is so many different people. It's Linda Wolverton who wrote it, and I'm a part of it, and James Baxter, and Howard Ashman. I mean, we're all part of Belle, and we all had the same goal. We wanted her to be the bookworm and did not want her looking for a man. Also, it's kind of, a lot of the critics don't really point this out, but she's the oldest of all the princesses. Yeah. And she's in her early 20s, and in that time period, she would be considered an old maid. And she could care less, which is even cooler, that she's an old maid. So it's a lot of firsts, and then, of course, look what they've done since then. Roles like Mulan, I mean, pretty amazing. Tiana. So, it's really cool. She kind of started it.
So my question for you is, what is your opinion on the live action Beauty and the Beast, and have you talked to any of the actors, the creators of that?
Well, yes, I did, as I told you, I saw Emma and the actors on opening night. But while they were filming it, Don Hahn, produced My Beauty and the Beast, and he executive produced the live action. So I was going back and forth with Dawn and getting all the scoop and sending messages to Emma, and she sent me messages back. And the biggest message she had was, I'm so intimidated, I don't want to see, I'm so scared. She was wonderful. She worked so hard. She and Dan Stevens would vocalize a couple hours a day with the teachers and work diligently. And ultimately, I just had to say to her, Don Juan actually told her, this is a true story, that I was cast #1 on my acting first, and my #2, my singing. And the acting is the most important part, which Emma, I mean, she's a great actress. We all knew. And Dan Stevens, and these people are amazing. Luke Evans, Josh Gad, I mean, what an amazing, Kevin Kline. I mean, the cast is just phenomenal. Did you like it?
I loved it. I loved my aunt got me into it when I was younger, and I've been obsessed, like, with everything.
Aw, well, I loved it too, and I was so proud to be a part of it. I must admit, I still prefer mine over that one. I actually think I'm right. I think mine is more magical.
Hi, I'm Kayla. Belle was my favorite princess growing up, especially because she was the only brunette princess. So that was something that was actually being able to relate to, whereas all the rest were blonde with the exception of Snow White. I also work for a character company, and I hang out with Belle pretty often.
Oh, cool.
So I watch her movie all the time to help and work on my characterization. Speaking of, so Beauty and the Beast on Broadway came out a couple of years after the movie. Did you work with Susan Egan or have any influence on that?
That's kind of a long story. Actually, the reason that Beauty and the Beast happened on Broadway was Jeffrey Katzenberg. Michael Eisner did not want to bring these shows to Broadway and kept saying no. And Jeffrey Katzenberg kind of had this little plan where he asked me and Richard White, Gaston, all we're in New York, to do this huge birthday party for Michael Eisner. Regis and Kathy Lee warmed it up. We got a symphony orchestra and a chorus of great singers, and essentially in concert we performed a concert version, Broadway version of Beauty and the Beast for his birthday. That night, Michael Eisner said, okay, to Jeffrey, we're going to do the Broadway version. Jeffrey Katzenberg, when they went to cast the Broadway, he asked me if I wanted to do it, and I said I didn't want to. I'm not sure the director would have wanted me anyway, because he didn't want any of the original people from the film. Richard was snubbed, everybody was. But I had already been cast in Nellie in South Pacific for 14 months in Australia. And I also was really worried that I was too old to play it. Now that I look back, there are girls older than me that played it later, but not Susan, she's the baby. She's like my little sister. So I actually turned it down, and my husband actually played the Beast. Michael, where are you? Where's my husband? Is he out there? There he is. Stand up, Michael. He's the Beast in the closet. So I saw him with Susan Egan a million times. Susan then did the production with Michael in Los Angeles where we lived, and became friends with Susan. And Michael was interesting. He and the director didn't get along too well because Michael played the Beast a lot like Robbie Benson, with a lot more heart and soul, not so much going for the broad laughs. And Linda Wolverton was actually in the audience when she saw Michael play, and she said, I wish all of the guys doing it in the Broadway would do it like you. And he said, well, I'm going to get notes tonight, and she'll change it back tomorrow. Rob won't change it back. But so it was really cool. I'm so glad. And look now there again. Look what happened. And, we can also thank Jeffrey Katzenberg for that. How cool is that?
Actually, I come here to remind me of something. The Little Mermaid, it's the 30th anniversary. You have something a little bit to do with that, right? With your art.
Yes, I'm really excited. I'm painting Ariel.
Painted Ariel.
The cover and the back of the, what do you call it, Michael? Steelbook. The Steelbook version of the DVD 30th anniversary. I painted Belle's portrait on the front, and then Disney hired me to also do the back of it in her own atmosphere under the sea.
So that's amazing. So when they go and buy the steel book, that is your art.
That's mine.
That's amazing.
I was just with Jodie Vincent in New York a couple weeks weeks ago, and Alan Menken and Donna Murphy, Judy Kuhn, and Lilia Swain. And we all did some bonus features for the Little Mermaid. And it's going to be really cool. All of us around the piano with Alan Menken. It's really cool. And Jody's so excited about it. So that'll be out, I think they said January next year. So that's cool.
So I'm Amy. And Belle really resonated with a lot of us in here. Sorry. I really like that she would rather read than socialize, because that was definitely me growing up. So I was wondering, just as you got into the character and as you did her voice, what about the character resonated with you and allowed you to connect with her?
You know, everything about her resonates with me. You know, it's one of those parts where it was so much like me, it was intimidating. Because I would try to change her up a little bit, and I remember the directors, Gary, Kirk, and Howard Ashman would say, Paige, she's you. We just want you to be you. And don't change your voice, don't change it. She has an old soul. I was in my almost mid-30s at the point when I recorded it. And so I just had to let go of my own mind and just like let my heart play her. I totally identify with the oddball, the bookworm, feeling out of place. I mean, in high school, you know, I'm into George Gershwin, you know. My friends are smoking pot and they like Led Zeppelin, and I could have nothing to do with it. You know, it's just like not my vocabulary. But definitely that, and her love for her father. I think now that I'm 62 years old, I look back on the part of the film where she didn't hesitate to give up her life for her father, and it's pretty special. I remember my mom said to me something when I was, you know, I met Michael, and I was like madly in love and scared to death to get married and everything. She said, you know, if you really think about this, it's kind of morbid, but she said, who would you die for in a fire for? And that I didn't realize if you're really in love with them. You know, you think of that, it's the same thing as Belle with her father. So it's kind of a cool analogy, psychologically kind of scary, but it sure brings up the reality of what your heart feels, you know? So I think that is probably the most outstanding part of Belle that took me a long time to really comprehend it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emily. So you mentioned before that you had like heard a lot of stories from fans and stuff. I was just wondering if there was like one story that particularly stood out to you.
While we were recording the movie, you mean? Or?
Like fans, like coming up with
Oh, fans. Oh man, there's so many. Oh my gosh. One of my favorites is Pocahontas in the park. Central Park, 120,000 people there. And the symphony, you know, all of Jody Benson and myself and Leah Songa were going up there to sing before the film starts. And I was doing Fontaine and Les Mis at that time on Broadway, but I still, well, there's something about that orchestra and being yourself as Belle, you know, coming out as I was really nervous. The stage fright was really bad that night, and I came out and I was the little town, it's a quiet village, and I was really shaky. This little 6-year-old girl ran to the foot of the stage and went like this, hi Belle, like that. And I was like my little angel, and I just like totally relaxed and started singing to her. And that was a really cool moment. And the same kind of stage fright did happen at the Oscars. When I literally come out, I'm singing live, they say you have the option to lip sync, and I'm like, no way, I'm a Broadway singer, I'm not lip syncing. And I came out and saw Barbara Streisand, like right there, and Nick Nolte, and Warren Beatty, and oh my gosh, it was a hoot. It was a hoot.
Hi, Miss O'Hara. My name is Heather, and I too am 5'3". And first of all, it's just such an honor to meet Disney royalty. This is the first time I've met a Disney princess in person. Aww. And I just wanted to ask, it's hard to believe anybody else playing your iconic role as Belle, but when they were casting Beauty and the Beast, did they consider anybody else for the role, or were you just a shoo-in from the start?
Oh yeah, I auditioned with 500 other women. And it got down to about 25 people, and then down to like 10. And the one who was down between two of us was Marsha Mitzvah, who's a Broadway singer and actress. She was in Chess, and a very talented lady. And Don Hahn told me that we both were, she was great too. He said, Paige, you're acting, you had the acting over a little bit. And that's what got me the part. I also think Howard Ashman. I think Howard Ashman had seen me in Carnegie Hall in 2 shows at Carnegie Hall when I did the early Jerome Kern revivals. And he loved those musicals, and that did not hurt. That was a good thing.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Nathan. First, the animated Beauty and the Beast is my Beauty and the Beast, no matter what. So,
thank you for that.
Second, as a theater actor to another, thank you for sharing all your theater stories. I'm loving it. And how did you get into voice acting? I've heard multiple stories this weekend about different voice actors getting into the business. I would love to hear how you got into voice acting.
Well, you know, really, I had done a couple of voiceovers in my 20s, like Maxwell House, Lipton Tea, Bounty, whatever, you know, but I was never in a commercial voiceover person. And in the case of Beauty and the Beast, they were seeking after Broadway actors. As you realize, all of us, all the leading people were all Broadway people, including Robbie Benson. People forget Robbie started in Rothschilds when he was 13 years old on Broadway, and he was a Broadway star too. So that really is the first time I'd done anything like this. And consequently, I've done a couple other films that are voiceover films. I have one series with Robbie called The Legend of Prince Valiant and Kingdom Hearts. But I'm not really I want to do Kingdom Hearts again. So I'm not really the person to ask about voice acting. I have girlfriends that, well, like Jodie Benson now, that's her full-time job. And she has her own recording studio at home and where she lives in Georgia, and she's pretty much full-time voice actress. And so she'd be the better one to ask. I want to get her here next year for you guys to make
It's just awesome to hear your voice.
Actually, I got Jodie to be with my agent now, so she's out doing these events now, finally. She wouldn't do it for years and years, and Michael, we talked her into it in Ray this past year, and after she did her first one, she said, I don't know why I was afraid to do this. This is so cool. I'm like, Jodie, I told you. You haven't listened to your big sister. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Taylor, and my question was, when Disney, told you, hey, you're going to be the voice for Belle, and want you to be the voice for Belle, what was your reaction? And who were the first people you told?
It was really funny because I came back to my apartment, and we had the voiceover, the machines, the answering machines, and we could hear them. And my agent had a chance to call me yet. And David Freeman, who is the musical director and conductor of the film, had left me a voice message saying, Paige, David Freeman, we got to get together and set keys, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, set keys? I guess I got the job. And I literally started screaming and carrying on in my apartment, and then I got crying, and then I just was crazy. I was a crazy person. It was quite a week. My husband had proposed to me the day before. It's a good thing he proposed before I got Belle. I would think he'd only was marrying me because I'm Belle. It was quite the week. It really was.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Olivia, and as an educator, I have a love of books, so I have to ask, what would Belle's favorite book be?
What would Belle's favorite book be? No one has ever asked me that. That is a hard question. Belle's favorite book. I don't know, you guys have any suggestions?
Beauty and the Beast!
Beauty and the Beast? Okay. Yeah, I'll buy that. She likes Beauty and the Beast. She probably would like Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Phantom of the Opera?
Which one?
Phantom of the Opera?
Phantom of the Opera. There again, my husband played Ralph for 3.5 years. Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera is a great movie.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you have a good answer for that, you can tell me later.
Okay,
I think I'd be able to answer that question better next time.
And you have a little one meeting you for the first time.
Oh.
So, would we be able to maybe sing something for her?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Duet? What do you want me to do?
Your favorite?
Say something to her?
Sing something to her?
What is her name?
Her name is
Her name is Bryn.
We should sing to her then. You guys gonna help me sing?
Her birthday's in 2 months.
Oh, happy birthday. All right, let's sing the opening number. You guys be the townspeople, okay? Yes. All right, this is your birthday present, sweetie pie. There goes the baker with his tray, like always. The same old bread and rolls to sell. Every morning just the same, since the morning that we came to this poor provincial town. Good morning, Belle! Good morning, Queen! Thanks, you guys!
Has anybody ever recognized your voice before you told them who you were?
Oh, yes. On the phone is happening?
Yeah, like
The first time it happened, it was actually a boy, not a little girl, in the grocery store. I was just yakking, and are you Belle? It's happened a couple times when I've been on the phone, and that's really crazy. You know, I love it.
Yeah, I was probably on the phone. I was probably the one who recognized your voice.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Paige. Samantha. Can you speak a little bit about your relationship with Howard Ashman? I consider you and him to be two of my heroes. So I know he had passed, obviously due to AIDS, and I know he had used the beast as an AIDS metaphor a lot of the time. So can you speak to that and also your relationship with him?
Yes, Howard was certainly one of the most creative geniuses I've ever had the pleasure to work with. He really had the perfect, he had this in his heart and his mind and his soul, what this film was supposed to be. And he made sure everyone understood his vision. And not only did we all understand it, we worked so hard to be able to accomplish it. He's truly a genius. I get emotional.
Yeah.
I really believe that he's the person responsible for the resurgence of animation, not only at Disney, but in every studio. Because I know the backstories of all the meetings that he took with Disney, how he fought to have Little Mermaid happen. At one point, even Alan says, we're just going to stop, we're going to give up. And Howard said, well, I'll pay for it myself. I will put my own money in the film. And he did. And it's just, he changed history forever. We were all very sad that he never got to see the opening night, never got to see the film finished. But he did. He did. And his legacy, oh my gosh, talk about forever and ever. The Howard Ashman legacy will live on forever. And he had boundless energy. Someone with AIDS, what he was going through with his illness, I don't know how he found it, but he found the energy for months. When doctors, in retrospect, said afterwards, we didn't think he'd be able to even get up and walk, much less go and direct and do all that he did. But he was quite the superhuman person, he really was. I'm glad you brought him up. Thank you. Thank you.
I do apologize. So go ahead and ask your question as I give you guys a heads up.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I just want to bring up, I am sisters with a previous question asker who asked about your favorite book, and she's too embarrassed to bring it up, but you are her favorite princess, and every time we went to Disney as a kid, she would only ever wear Belle's dress. And I'd always play the beast when we did dress up. But bringing this up, you're also probably one of her inspirations for why she started wanting to be an actress, and I'm just wondering your advice on the best way to get into the Broadway world and the theater world, and what you think really stood out for why you were as successful as you deserve to be.
Well, Michael and I, we teach master classes and all that kind of thing. The first thing we'll say is, if you're going to be an actor or actress, make sure that you want to be it completely in your whole heart and soul, and willing to put the work in, because it's a very tough profession. Only 5% of people in the union actually make a living at acting. But if if you're like me and you're just not going to take no for an answer, I would just you get with the best teachers. You learn, you perform wherever you can perform, whether it's community theater, at the schools, whatever. Get all the experience that you can. And when you get ready to go to New York, if it's for theater, I recommend you try to get into a showcase, which means you work for nothing, but agents come to see showcases and get yourself in a program like that. Also working with great teachers can also open the doors for you. And now in the film world, that's a whole other thing. I personally hated it in Los Angeles. I hated like getting to the final callback and told that I wasn't the girl who got it was prettier, you know, just like, oh, my acting didn't really count. But I know that a lot of that's changed in these days. But I can't really advise you on the film world, but in the theater world, you just practice, 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 perform wherever you can. Any other advice for that, Michael, for theater?
Practice.
Practice makes perfect. Michael and my sister, both my sisters would like think I'm out of my mind because I would sing and work on my craft for 4 or 5 hours a day, and it kind of made them crazy when I was in high school. But I was ready when I went to New York at 17. I really was, and I wish you the best. Is that what you want to do?
No, that's what she wants to do. But I do have a pact. Either if she doesn't make it, she always has to spot my couch. But if she does, I have to be her +1 of the Oscars.
Well, I wish her all the best. Now, Angela Lansbury has answered the question, you know, because Angela is the royalty. Yeah. Angie always tells young people just to perform wherever you can possibly perform. So that's where I got that from. She said, yeah, you definitely need, whether it's community theater, produce something yourself, and nowadays you can YouTube yourself. It's like incredible. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
I might be okay. I thought as a Latin teacher that you should know you are taller than the average Roman man. Speaking, you're taller than Julius Caesar, taller than Augustus, you're taller than Hadrian, you take your pick. The average Roman man was only 5'2".
I love that! Oh my, you made my month.
But my question was, what's the process difference between like a cast album for Broadway and then doing something like recording for Beauty and the Beast?
Well, actually for the songs, it was very much the same. When I recorded Gershwin's of the Sing Let 'Em Eat Cake, we had the symphony and the microphone was set up, you know, right here, where it wasn't right here like I am right now. And I recorded, that's where the mic was, you know. And we sang with the live orchestra, and we did that at Beauty and the Beast. It was amazing. And I'll never forget Angela Lansbury had flight troubles and has been all night long trying to get to New York and had no sleep. And she was set to record the title song, Beauty and the Beast, and Don Hahn said, Angie, go home, get sleep, we'll do it tomorrow. No, I'll do it. And she was really nervous about singing Beauty and the Beast. She was just telling Alan, I don't have line anymore in my voice, I can't sing it, blah, blah, blah. But I'll give it my best shot. Well, her best shot was, she gets up to the mic, and all of us are just watching this brilliant woman. She sings Beauty and the Beast in one take, and not a dry eye in the house. And I was like, wow, it was really amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Pressure. So we all know there's like various versions of Beauty and the Beast. My question to you is, have you seen the French version of Beauty and the Beast? Because I actually think their makeup and special effects are phenomenal.
Are you talking about the Disney version?
Not Disney, this was like made in Europe.
Oh, Jean Cocteau, yes, absolutely. That was part of our homework Don Hahn said for all of us to do when we got cast. So it was brilliant, actually. Thank you. And everybody, I wanted to know, I'm going to be back to my booth for an hour before lunch. If you want to come see me, I'd love to see you.
How long are you signing for today?
I'm going to sign for the next hour, take a lunch break, and then we'll see how late it goes.
Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Make sure you check it out. Everyone give it up for Paige